Who is it? Vinny!
Hey, dude, are you there?
Hey, what's up,
I'm
my
here,
brother?
man.
How are you,
Dude,
man?
I don't have a scary story, man. I was like, I'm gonna have pretty much a heart attack. I'm like having a heart attack, but I can't scream or anything. Basically, laying on the floor, panicking.
Oh!
No, you weren't. You weren't.
Oh!
You built the place. I haven't seen the Hopi in thousands of years. Don't make fun of my people. Period.
Sorry,
I'll pull
grandfather.
out your ass and cut you up into little bitty bits.
Facebook page down because people said Richie from Boston's gay. He's gay. I'm gay. I'm a gay man.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, you can prosecute me for that if you like.
No, it's not why I'm doing that. I'm just saying there's a lot
but
of...
that is what you did. Bigelow started buying websites, including one in British Columbia, Canada. So all of a sudden, this kind of triggered Brian Vike.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We've got a special report for you. We've got a few UFO videos that we want to share with you.
Welcome back, everybody. Blake Cousins, along with Orlando Smith and Brent Cousins, we're going to be going over incredible imagery.
Third phase of moon. Third phase of moon.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
All right. Welcome to GUFON tonight. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It's outside. It's raining arrows. How's everybody doing? It's July 23rd, 2024. It's a Tuesday, right smack dab in the 3 middle. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Friday, Monday, Thursday. What movie? Godfather. Where have you been? I can't know. Monday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. I hope you guys are having a nice evening. We're getting scattered thunderstorms right now. Very heavy rain, very heavy thunder, very heavy lightning. I captured on video a vortex. I swear on my life, I can't wait to show you. I can't do it now because it's on the phone. I just did it like half hour ago. There's this major storm coming, and I look up and I couldn't believe what I saw. I saw it looked like right above me was a vortex of a tornado forming. You'll see, it's very defined. Nothing happened, but it was just that the wind, it's so windy in the upper atmosphere, and you can tell by the clouds that I took pictures of in video, that this was just, up there. It wasn't something that was coming down, but my God, it sure as hellfire looked like I was going to get a tornado. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I can't wait to show you, kids. Let me see if... No, I'm not in the mood. I'll show you tomorrow. Tomorrow. We're on every day, in case you haven't heard. Tonight, well... Tonight is Once Upon a Night in UFOlogy. This story that I'm going to share with you this evening comes from the archives of Rich Giordano himself. He couldn't make it tonight, but he gave me permission to tell the story how I see fit, since I know it very well. And I have heard this story so much, I'm very intimate with it. So much so, I'm going to make it my own tonight. And I want to start a new tradition, once upon a night, in ufology, where we tell stories of the things that go bump in the night sky, in the hallway, in the basement, in the refrigerator. That's right. That's right. La Frigidaire. They hide in our pictures. They hide under our beds. They hide in closets. And they hide in the shadows, in the cracks of the walls, in the corners, where the spider webs form. You see? Scary. Shh. Don't say a word. We'll have a little fun tonight. Talk about ufology. We got some good things to talk about tonight. John Greenwald tonight, I think. There's a couple of things with Greenwald. Mick West makes an appearance in the readings of ufology. What do they call that? The bowels? In the jowls of ufology? It looks like, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like we got a nice crowd tonight. Let's start a little roll call, shall we? I'd like to start with my doppelganger, who I have no idea if he's my real true doppelganger, but we do share one or two things. We share the name Rich, and with my foot the way it is now, yeah, I am a lead foot. What's up, Rich? Welcome to the show. Jeff Garvey, welcome to the show. Kelly Lewis, how do you do this? Welcome to the show. Yeah. Hey, Sky Owl. Sky Owl. Where'd he go? Oh, you're probably in the restroom. Good to see you. Hey, there he is, Ozzy Tiger. How do you be, matey? Good to make your acquaintance. Nice to see you on the live. Gigi Angel, the angel of GUFON. Samo Gufonian Rockstar. What's up, Chief? Nice to have you back. Marcel Gufonian Metalhead. What's up? Welcome to the show. Brooke is, huh? Yeah. David Wilcox, not Wilcox. Welcome to the show. It's past 7. Tony, yo, how do you do, man? Vortex always reminds me of a yeah, like a turlet, kind of like how a turlet works. All right, let's get started. Hey, Dave Tedball, everybody. Welcome to the show. If I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you. I mean, we've got a show to do. Is Rich okay? He's never okay. He's great okay. Although, I have to admit, I mean, nobody knows. Only one person here knows. Almost went to the hospital this morning. Terrible. Just terrible. I still have this this stuff going on. Hasn't stopped. It's just not as violent and aggressive as it used to be. Welcome, Philip Swain. Dorothy, it is. Dorothy throwing down a $2 super chat. It's a super dono. And for those who don't know, a dono is a donation with no message or emoji. Capiche? It's a dono. It's the best. It's how you say I love you without saying I love you. Dorothy, I love you. Welcome to the show. And of course, a continuing supporter of GUFON. And if you'd love to help this Truthology for Ufology storm, all the links are in the show description. Super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Cash App. Become a member. See? See? Ozzy Tiger renewing the membership to Truthology for UFOlogy. That is a great way to become a contributing supporter. I was going to say continuing. That works too, I guess. Oh. I haven't talked this much all day since the throw-up sesh. A little sore. A little sore. I don't know if you can hear the rain. It's coming down in buckets. It's pretty bad. Hey, thanks, Dorothy. Thank you, Ozzy T. Hey, Gyro, welcome to the show. There's Star Galactic. What do you say, Federation? I got the email. I emailed you back. Yes, I got the emails today. Zuzi Kingdom, I know. I got into a bad groove. I'm sorry, man. You will get your email responses shortly. And that I can promise you. Zuzi, welcome. So let's get started. Lots of show to do. Lots of show. A little bit. A little bit. Hold on. Notice I haven't been showing you any drone videos or anything really like that. I have gone out 2 other times, but I'm not rushing to get it up. Hey! The video. But they'll be popping up again. It's just so darn hot. And I haven't been feeling good. And then, is it an excuse? It's the truth. If I have energy, man, I'm out there making videos. I'm running 2 now, 2 channels. So it's starting to get exciting. Yeah, it really is fun. Because the other channel's just kicking ass. And every time I put a video out, I'm rewarded. I'm not disappointed. You know? It's nice. So we'll see how long it lasts. You know YouTube's. So. But on that channel, I'm not making any of the same mistakes I make here. Hey, look, I took the road less traveled. And that was being the dick. Having to tell the truth to everybody who believes something else is going on. And those who know, who think like me, see it. And that's why we are who we are. Or I am who I am, whatever, however. But I think you guys, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in your shoes and you're not in mine. Like I wish I can do this all over again. I really wish I could do this entire thing. Would I do things the same way? No. But I take the blame for being shadow banned. I don't think it's fair. But I knew what line I was walking. I knew it was a thin, fine line. I knew it was the unpopular version that people wanted to hear. But I didn't think it was wrong to tell the truth at the same time. So I figured, people were supporting this. I mean, we were just doing wonderfully. And then, people put out a bunch of lies. People believed it. And things have never been the same. And that's what's so frustrating, is being shadow banned and having all these lies put out about you. Oh, what do you mean? They were truthful. No, nobody's asked me about them. Everybody just went with whatever was said about me and said, oh, that's terrible. And it wasn't even true. But I didn't talk about it. I wanted to see who would come to me and ask me, hey, I heard this about you. Hey, I've seen this in a video about you. Now, I know what you would probably think. Why would we email you? We know you're going to deny it anyway. But don't you want to hear my side of the story? Wouldn't you? So, we got hit. I wish I can go back and do things a little differently, but that's me. That's how I do things. I usually try to test the waters, and then I come back and And hopefully things will pick up again in the near future, which I think they will for this channel and the rest of us out there, because I'm not the only channel that is shadow banned. Third Phase of Moon is shadow banned horrifically. Worse than we are. They only had 200 people live, I heard, on their last premiere. They usually have, on average, 700. I've seen it up in 10,000s before, but when we were hanging out every day, it was a 1,500, 1,000 during the live, and then it dropped to like 700 and stayed there. But then I hear 200. Even if I was told 300, I would have been, oh, this has gotten bad. And I look at all of our other people we know and hang out with, and their channels are pretty much the same. I see channels doing a little better than we are, but they're getting guests. They're having, a lot of stuff going on to get those numbers. They're working their ass off. And, when you have somebody else helping you who can bring guests on for you, and it's a lot easier when it's two people. But we'll be having a guest on shortly. I don't want to say who just yet because it's not 100% confirmed, but I think they're here now, and I'm very excited to see what kind of conversation we're going to have. But if that individual wants to say it, they can sure as hell say, yeah, I asked Rich if I can come on the show, if he wanted to, and ba-ba-da-ba-da. So I'm very excited. I know I said earlier in the year we were going to start seeing more guests, and we started out, and then I got sick, and then I got really upset, and then I just went back to my old ways, trying to start that. I know you guys want guests, so we're going to try. I'm going to try it. I like guests. I really, really. Matter of fact, I love having guests on the show. It's just it's not fair to what I'm doing, because even though I may have heard it, you may not have heard it. You may not know this person. And you know what I hear a lot? Oh, we want to see what you're going to say. We want to hear you interview this individual. And I think that's really nice. I mean, that is like the greatest compliment I've ever heard. So I'm going to give it a try, getting guests and whatnot, and we'll get some good ones. Because I have a source. I can't say it, but I've got a good guest source. We're going to have some fun. Okay, well, that was just a little bit of an announcement. No Trump stuff today. I don't think I have anything like that to go over. Oh, this is really, really, really strange. I set up the show very nicely with a lot of stuff. 2/3 of it is missing. 2/3 of it is missing. All right, I'm going to start you off with, thank God this video is still here. This is unreal. Did you guys see the comet? The little asteroid that streaked over Rome last night? I think this is real. I don't think it's fake, mind you. My God, it's thundering. So weird outside right now. It's like a war. All right, this is really special. Look at this. All right, there we go. Ready? And a 3, 2, a go. Whoa! If that's real. Do you guys think that's real? I'm not so sure. I mean, you can see the reflection, from the camera. But look at these people. They're facing this way. This girl's still looking that way. This guy's still looking that way. This guy's looking down. This one's looking down. I'm not so sure. See, what I think's happening? There's going to be some sort of catastrophe. That's the next thing that's going to happen. I don't know where it'll happen, but it's almost as if we're being geared up for something. Maybe it was supposed to be the assassination of Donald Trump. Maybe that was supposed to be it. It didn't work. But even that isn't going to stop the weirdness that people still feel, right? People still feel. Joe Rogan went on his show and he said, it's just weird, right? Doesn't it feel weird? Like it's not over? Yeah. Why? Why is that? People are saying some wacky stuff too, and I definitely do not condone that wacky talk, wishing that they had hit, that the kid would have gotten Trump. This is awful what people are saying. Just awful. Can you imagine if it was reversed? They'd lose their Vulcan minds, man. Lose their minds. I know I wasn't going to talk about it, but I did. Just touch on it. So here's a weird thing that's happening with Lou's book. I don't know if you guys know about this, but Stephen Greenstreet noticed that Google removed the public preview of Lou Elizondo's book. On his desktop, he says 4 chapters were available, but on the tablet, up to 18 chapters were available. But I've noticed that throughout history with advertising. It depends on what the company bought and where they wanted it to be seen. I'm not so sure if Greenstreet's right here that there's some conspiracy to have, Google removed the public preview of Elizondo's book. I'm not so sure. I don't know. Let me take a look at this with me, will you? Let me pull it up. Very strange. I hope it comes up the way I need it to. All right, so let me click on this to make sure it works. Let's see, what is this? Did it work for you? Yes, it did. And you still can't see it. Dang it. Damn, that's hard to see, isn't it? I'm trying to put me in a place that maximizes the screen and they're all the same. Well, I'll go over. It looks like you can see some of it. So these are the chapters, right? You can see them here, right? 800-pound gorilla, chapter 19, and the horse you rode in on, chapter 20, the 3 heads of Cerberus, 21, out of the airlock, 22, all the small things, 23, the war plan, 24, the next level of disclosure, 25, new horizons. If we go back a little bit, number 7, chapter 7, tic tac, 6 is orbs, 5, the writing on the wall, Polaris, and 2, damned if I da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see what's next. The secret in their brains. Hold on a second. Where is chapter 10? The secret in their brains. Okay, it's there. One particular Saturday, I strolled into the local tattoo shop in Denton, Maryland. Mike at Black Anchor Tattoo had always done my work. He was a traditionalist whose speciality was old school Americana. The same types of tattoos Popeye the Sailor would have had if he were a real life sailor. Mike was a gruff, bearded guy, but also was a devout family man. He enjoyed teasing me about my leathery, beat-up skin. I showed Mike a small design on paper. "Can you replicate that?" I said. After several years of inking me, Mike and I had a bond. He knew my profession. "Seems official," he said, asking without asking. "Yeah, it is," I said, "think you can do it?" Several members of AATIP had emblazoned meaningful images of their bodies that connected in some way to AATIP. Now it was my turn. "That's pretty badass," Mike said, "but what's it mean?" I could not say much beyond the fact that this image was to honor the team I worked with. Mike was used to my cryptic responses. I settled into the chair as he got to work. Needles danced along my skin, bringing to life the image of a hooded death's head impaled on a dagger. The slogan, "Shadow Hunters," that phrase appeared just under the skull. Above the hooded figure in Latin, the words read, "Daring to seek the truth through the darkness, God willing." For the record, I never really liked tattoos. Ironically, I had inked each tattoo on my body in honor of someone else. Usually, they were humble reminders of the sacrifices made by people I adored. Here's the deal about tattoos. If it was that meaningful, what do you need a reminder for? I don't forget shit, that's meaningful. I remember a lot of details from things that were meaningful, and I have 0 tattoos. Ladies. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't have any. But I want one. Just one. Me morphing into an alien, or is it an alien morphing into me? Tattoo. You understand? And if anybody has seen the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell, the remake, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. The scene where the replication is taking place and you see the ripping and tearing, or is it combining and soldering together a new species with human species? Capiche? So that's the tattoo I'd like to get. Okay, next. Can I move it over here? This is interesting, though. I didn't know that all those guys now have tattoos because they were members of AATIP. Hey, how many people were in AATIP? I thought it was like 3 people. Holy crap. That must have been some strong... I can't imagine the death-defying stories they have about working at AATIP. All those hot lights they must have went and searched for. Ooh, the heat that came out of those lights. Huh? How about them shadowy figures? Ooh, scary. Yeah. How many? Yeah, and how can you prove nothing? Right, no proof. Okay, well, each to his own, as they say. Biological remains? Several of the senior officials I worked with eventually told me that when one of my colleagues worked at the CIA some decades earlier, he was given an official report / autopsy of the dissection of a non-human body that was recovered from an unspecified crash UAP. This colleague asked me not to use his name. Of course. The report stated that the brain had no convolutions. Convolutions? The wrinkled exterior portion of the brain. Rather, what was described was a smooth surface, similar to lower functioning animals here on Earth. It also described a conjoined gut and liver and a 3-chambered heart, like reptiles. The author of the autopsy came to the conclusion the cadaver did not appear to have the requisite brain capacity to design and create aircraft capable of such stunning maneuverability. Wait a minute, hold on. Why do we think just because on this planet mammals that have a large brain are usually smarter, right? We would agree with that here on Earth. Alien. What if it was the other way around for an alien? Just because this being had a smaller brain capacity than that of a human, from what I'm gathering the story says, does not mean it's an idiot. It got here on a spacecraft that it or one of its people built that we know of. See, so what is Lou saying in this book? That the aliens what is the autopsy guy saying in Lou's book here? The brain's too small. It wouldn't have had the capacity to understand, math. That's the dumbest thing I could ever hear anybody say about an alien species they know nothing about. They could have the same size or even a little smaller. It doesn't mean they're dumb. You're dumb. You're stupid. Stupid guy. Well, it was postulated that it might be some sort of biological automation created by something else with a greater intellect. All right, I like that. In that era at the CIA, brain/neuroanatomical science considered smooth exterior brain surfaces to be indicative of extremely low animal intelligence incapable of tool making, no sophisticated communication capability beyond sight and smell, pheromones/primitive vocal noises, and no high-level cognition. Let me emphasize that this is what was told to me at the time. As you'll see below, that thinking later changed. Ooh! Eric and some of our other colleagues were familiar with TRW's rumored crash retrieval program run out of the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, and they shared this view based on their recoveries. For background, TRW has long been a major U.S. defense contractor and was eventually purchased by Northrop Grumman, another major defense contractor. Do you see? It all makes sense. Follow the money, honey. All right, I'm not going to read anymore. You guys get the deal. Plus, my throat is kind of sore. I'm almost sounding like a Lou Eleganzo on a 2-night binge of talking about UFOs and remote viewing sessions. Speaking of which, did you know Lou was trained by the Pentagon to be a psychic? Oh, yeah, we knew that, right? We knew that? Right. Interesting. So Mick West has this out here, and it says, UFO disclosure advocate Luis Eleganzo describes how the Pentagon trained him to use ESP to remote view adversaries, and how he once, while having lunch, he's always eating, psychically appeared as an angel shaking the bed of a terrorist. What? How in the world did I not know about this story? Did I not? How did I? He described how the Pentagon trained him to use ESP to remote view the enemy, and how he once, while having lunch, psychically appeared as an angel, shaking the bed of a terrorist. So he became the angel at the bed of a terrorist, shaking the bed? This better be something that can't be really what he means, right? This is what do they call it? And they don't want you to know, they talk in code language. Shaking the bed of a terrorist must mean I appeared as an angel and I killed everybody in bed. That's what it must mean. Get it? Shaking the bed of a terrorist means I blew everybody's head off in that bed as an angel. I know. I needed to drink that. And you know me, I have a lot more respect for. But that was desperation right there, and I apologize. I can't say it won't happen again. So then it says here, should I bring this up? Hold on, let me bring it up for you. I can't believe what. This is just. John Greenwald posted this, by the way. Oh my God. Let me see. Uh-oh. Okay. It also, aliens are piloting UFOs. Let me see if you can see that. Okay. Stargate trained super soldiers, in quotes, to spy on hard targets using their psychic gifts. No, I am not kidding. This was an official U.S. government program. They called the highly controversial technique remote viewing. The program, pioneered at Stanford University in the late 60s, was led more by none other than Hal Puthoff, whom I met at the dinner meeting I described earlier. Hal had been a Stanford University researcher and an employee of the NSA when he and his colleague, Russell Targ, were approached by the CIA and told that Russia had a remote viewing program. The U.S. needed to catch up and beat their efforts. That's how it all started. Extrasensory perception had won over supporters in government who were initially dubious, then shocked that the technique worked. No one understood the mechanism. The CIA didn't care why it worked. The only thing that mattered was that it did. When government-trained psychics focused their attention on a particular subject, they gleaned images, feelings, thoughts, and intelligence that were otherwise impossible to collect via conventional spy tradecraft. Stargate became so successful, Hal reported directly to the director of the CIA in the White House on a regular basis. As a measure of the program's success that can be talked about, its psychics once located a Russian supersonic jet that crashed somewhere over Africa. Our best satellites couldn't locate it, and neither could the Russians. One of our remote viewers saw and pinpointed the exact location of the downed aircraft in the Congo. The U.S. was able to sweep in and salvage this valuable target based on the remote viewer's visions alone. Jimmy Carter famously referenced the case to the media. Remote viewers also located Brigadier General James Lee Dozier, who'd been kidnapped in Italy by the Red Brigade in '81. In the Persian Gulf War, remote viewers identified and located storage facilities that housed deadly chemical war agents. The success stories of remote viewing were legion. Legend? It should be. Were legion? And seemed almost magical. The stories I can't share are even more mind-blowing. Of course, it's always the stories you can't share. Right, kids? Just share those and maybe we'll believe the others. All right, we're not going to read everything else. You know. Oh, wait, what's this? Lou says a good remote viewer must avoid the innate temptation we all have to see patterns. You must abandon all preconceived notions of what something might be. In daily life, pattern recognition helps to not overload our brains with too much data. It serves as a filter, allowing us to recognize and isolate patterns that could prove dangerous to us. But the tendency of our brain to say, hey, I don't know what that is, proves disastrous for remote viewing. Sometimes Gene, he would give me an envelope and ask me to describe the location mentioned inside it. Only I couldn't open the envelope. A day later, he'd change the procedure slightly. I was to direct my attention to a photograph Gene was holding, but that I could not see it. Before we started, he verbally gave me the geographical coordinates of the object in question. But without consulting a map, I had no idea where in the world I was supposed to focus. The place was not really relevant. The object was. At other times, he would simply ask, what's inside the envelope? I know it sounds like an impossible task, but if I listened to the radio in my heart, in my mind, I nearly always gleaned something useful. I breathed, I kept it steady. The radio dial stopped rolling and homed in. I envisioned the signal line like a glowing whitish river that flowed like a circuit in the direction I was supposed to go. Not a physical river, but a river that I could feel, a river that would lead to strange places and strange people whom I've never met. With practice, I got better. I would later take the techniques I learned with me to subsequent assignments, and after a while, remote viewing became second nature to me. I was able to put myself in the zone without any sort of protocol or ritual. I was excited to join the ranks of the few elite remote viewers when I was given the unfortunate news that the program had been completely dismantled. I would be going to Panama, and as an intelligence operations officer, I would be going to Panama as an intelligence operations officer. On that note, I took the job, and just like that, I was released from my obligations to the Army as an enlisted soldier and became a civilian working for the Army, though I was actually paid for this work by the NSA, which I never understood. Today, I have no idea if Gene had originally intended me to be one of his remote viewers or if he was merely asking me. Nevertheless, it wasn't for nothing. However, the skills Gene taught me, I would use in time and time again. While running counterintelligence operations, I routinely address counterintelligence reports. Let's say an informant said a particular location was important. Was it? I'd shift into remote viewing mode and try to put myself in that location. How did I feel about the intel now? Once, in the Middle East, I had a bad feeling about a specific location that 5 of my men were scheduled to investigate the very next day. We can't do it, I told one of my subordinates. There's something off about this. I don't want you guys going in. Well, that's fine, he said tersely, but someone's going in. Besides, the British already cleared the area yesterday. An Allied team went instead and encountered an IED. Excuse me. In the following years, I was privileged to meet 4 other remote viewers who had been trained in the discipline. We often talked about our experiences with the technique. One afternoon, we discussed the capture of a suspected terrorist who had been on the U.S. government's radar for a long time. He was being held in the location thousands of miles from us. I had been to the location before. As a test, we all gathered together in a secure facility at the Pentagon with our brown bag lunches and attempted an act of group remote viewing. We directed our conjoined thoughts toward a specific terrorist in his cell. None of us had any sympathy for the ruthless killer who gleefully took the lives of our comrades. I wondered if we could leave a real impact on him. Something happened, all right. Months later, we learned that the terrorist had told his lawyers that the CIA had sent 5 angels to disrupt his sleep. 5 figures, washed in a white light, stood over his bed and shook it violently, leaving him terrified. He felt the judgment was upon him. He shared the story with his attorney, and the tale later ended up in a mainstream newspaper article about a secret CIA program being used to harass his client. I told Hal Puthoff what we had done. He was not surprised. That is Lou Elizondo talking about his experience as a remote viewer. Pretty cool, if true. Well, there's got to be some truth to it. However, I don't like it. I don't know. I don't know why I don't like it. It's interesting though, if it's true. If they did get, see, this is the weird thing. I can barely get 2 people to do a Ouija board session, yet they get 5 people to come over and do this remote viewing thing to catch a terrorist. I think that's pretty freaking awesome. I would love to do that. So Lou's saying he's psychic. We knew this, but he's not afraid to talk about it. You see, he's all in. He's all in. He can never change unless he detaches his bond with the government, which will never happen. He's a lifer. He will always be this guy we shouldn't trust. Now, what's the big deal? He's talking about being a remote viewer, saving some people's lives, because you know why? Because it sounds like something he would make up. As a matter of fact, maybe the story's true, but it's not his story. It's someone else's. And we know a lot of people in this field who do that. They borrow other people's videos and they say, oh, this is what I videotaped. Oh, well, it's not my video, but if I had it, this is what it would look like. No, you can't do that. You can't. You shan't and you shouldn't. Excuse me. Storms have let up a little bit. Listen to this. Listen to this. Let me pull this up for you. Oh, no. God dang it. Oh, well, I'll play a minute or so. This is really cool. Dr. John Richter's presentation, Los Alamos and the U.S. nuclear program during and after the Cold War. This was recorded on August 2008 and released via FOIA by the National Nuclear Security Administration, the NNSA, in 2024. I know, but I think you're going to enjoy this because this guy has no skin in the game. You know? You know what I mean? He's just, he's not out for the money. And can we get this? No, I have to do this. All right.
John Richter came to Los Alamos in mid-1958 with his PhD from the University of Texas. We don't hold that against him. He came to work in Group W4, which was then one of the fission weapon design groups, and worked on code development, lethality, vulnerability, and effects of nuclear weapons. But his real forte was fission weapon design. And during his tenure here at the laboratory, he participated in over 40 underground nuclear weapon tests. Made significant contributions and became the group leader of the fission weapon design group and later a program manager for weaponization.
Program during and after the Cold War. There are excellent books about the Manhattan Project during those epic days at Los Alamos and elsewhere. Since nuclear fission was identified in Germany, the watchwords were "beat the Nazis to the bomb." After World War II, militant communism took over much of the world, and those nations challenged the U.S. The watchwords became "deter communism with nuclear weapons." With the accession of Mikhail Gorbachev in 1985 as head of the Soviet Union, the Cold War was winding down, and also regard for nuclear weapons. A little of what happened with nuclear weapon program in Los Alamos during the Cold War is described. This is an unauthorized reminiscence, namely it's me. The 1930s were a time of great scientific enlightenment as the great minds unraveled the secrets of the atom. It was also a time of great social disenlightenment due to Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, and the Japanese warlords.
All right. So we know what happens after all that. Roswell happens, and then we take all the scientists and create NASA from Germany, right? We do all that. If it wasn't for the United States being aggressive, and I don't know if it mattered in World War II what they did, because everybody was just trying to survive. I mean, what they did by taking all those German scientists, but I guess they surrendered. And if you surrender, you can come work over here. Yeah, it's very strange, right? And how NASA. All right, let me get rid of me. Nope. There you go. It's strange though, right? Like, how can you trust? This was if you ever want to see a really good movie, what is it, Oppenheimer? Isn't that the name of the movie? Trying to create that. They couldn't trust him because of all of his ties, and that's a good movie if you want to understand how hard it must have been for one of these people to come over and then say you're going to help the enemy destroy their home. Huh? Wait, what? Okay, right. Yeah. That's how desperate the United States was. See, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. We didn't have the smarts yet. We didn't figure it out yet, but they figured it out. Figured out what? How to make rockets? How to get to the moon? I mean, that's one of the things, right? Werner von Braun, whatever his name is. Warner Van Braun. That should be a wrestler for WWE. And his death move is false flag. It's a false flag, alien invasion. So, what we're waiting for, though, and I still haven't seen it, and maybe I'm just blind, but if somebody... Oh, what the hell? I just noticed the clock behind me. That was weird, huh? I must have banged it. What the hell was I going to say? See? Bidenized. It's happening. Short-term memory loss. That's okay. What was I saying? Anyway, we we are where we are because of what we did. We did some nasty things, dropping bombs. I mean, come on, Vietnam. Horrible how we started that, right? Every war, I think, got started, or how we got dragged into it under false pretenses, pretty much. World War I, definitely. World War II, Pearl Harbor, right? Vietnam, right? We know that. And then you go into the 9/11. We know the weapons of mass destruct. What? Nothing? Those editors, right? And it just... Then, now, what we get now are false flag, I feel like, tests, because we've seen it in the last 18 months, right? It's slowed down, though. Have you noticed? No reports on airplanes of people seeing aliens anymore. That stopped. People out in public, like Miami or wherever, Peru, no attacks anymore. That stuff seem to have gone to the wayside too. Why? What happened? Where are all these amazing UFO events? People are still glomming on to that Miami thing. I say just let it go. I already showed a video debunking everything, because a guy who was an auditor was there, and before anything happened and after. So what's going on? We're just here because of, New Year's. Just extra added protection. Oh, okay. He had no idea there was any false flag alien attack. That was a false flag alien invasion. Holy crap. Hold on a second. Could it have been? Could that have been the false flag alien invasion? I want to say Peru, but because that happened first, right? And then Miami. Maybe because the Peru one didn't take off like they thought, so they came out with one in Miami. A year later? No? I don't know. I still think we're being tested. I think now, with all of the testing that they've done, they're analyzing the data, which will take, probably a good 8 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year. And that now they're going to figure out when, where, and to whom they will have this next whatever event happen. Will it be another alien visitation at a mall? Will it be aliens are crashing in someone's backyard? See, the one thing missing from each one of these stories is evidence. Good, clean, verifiable evidence. Measurable evidence. We don't have it. We do not have it. And that sucks. Because I think we're on the cusp of something pretty amazing. And I don't know what I don't know. I still feel like it's happening. All right, let me see this here. I pulled this up. Oh, I already read that. All right, get rid of that. We showed you that. No. Oh, here we go, a UFO. Can anyone explain what's in this video? Oh, we already did this yesterday. That was that drone UFO. God dang, that was awesome. Let me show it to you again. I love this video. I think this is legit until proven otherwise. I just don't see why this guy would fake it. I don't think it's fake. The way the object moves, everything about it looks legit. Let's give it another look. Maybe I'm just wishful.
Oh, I want to look at this video with you guys and have you comment and tell me what you think it is. So this object is about to come into view. I'm calling it the unidentified flying object. And you're going to see my arrow point. Now, what the heck is that?
And you see where it comes from, right? It comes all your mother's monkey. It comes from right over here. Here, all the way back here.
My arrow point. Now, what the heck is that?
And then it goes down.
I am completely stumped.
It's crazy.
I spoke with my buddy.
You can see it going down. Now, this guy didn't even know it when he was recording it. I'm sure he couldn't have seen it. But you can see it take a dive right here, too. Now, you know what's interesting? His friend immediately said that was me. That's right. Remember? Holy shit, Rich. I bet you this is a drone after all. You know why I didn't think it was a drone? Because this guy acted so confidently that his friend didn't fly that day. Because it does act like a drone. However, it flies very fast. And there's a video that I saw, and I'm having a hard time finding that video I was going to show you. It goes from 0 to 100 miles an hour in like a second. It's ridiculously fast. But let's play this. This could be a drone. I didn't even think of that.
I am completely stumped. I spoke with my buddy who was there the day before on May 18th, and
his buddy was there the day before.
He looked at his flight records because he has a drone, and he was flying it around, and he said, oh, no, it was my drone. I went, well, no, you weren't there on...
See? Oh, no, that was my drone. Let's see. Can a drone go this fast?
Drone. I went, well, no, you weren't
Yes.
there. On,
Though I don't know how fast that is, but that could be it.
Said, like, oh, no, it was my drone. I went,
it doesn't look like a drone now. And a drone would show up. But there are some interesting things about it that, man, it might be.
Well, no, you weren't there on May 19th. You were there
I don't
on
know,
May
guys.
18th. And
it's one of the best I've seen if it's real.
On the files are there, and our flight records are there, and the DJI app and everything. So what could it be? I'm going to go over this clip several times. I know that you probably didn't get to see too much, but for a drone. But yeah, I don't know. So there it is again, and it's flying down into the field. I've circled where it actually flies down into the field and checks things out, then flies upwards, and then flies directly at my drone at full speed, and you see it whip by. So the next frame is zoomed in a little bit more, so you see it come down. It flies down there, it checks things out, and then flies up, and then flies at full speed right past my drone as I'm flying towards it. And you can't see what it is. So now this is zoomed in of the field.
I take it back. I do not.
You see this object
I don't think
down.
This is a drone.
It like stops nearly, but it's like it's checking things out. It's actually routinely going and checking things like it was a bug.
Yeah, I don't think it's a drone.
Way too big to be a bug. And then
that
boom.
Oh, let me take a look at that. Look how close we are here. I didn't know that we had this frame.
It's like it was a bug, but like way too big to be a bug. And then boom.
I couldn't pause it there.
But like way too big to be a bug. And then
isn't that weird? See, you would know if it's a drone right there. You would know. Pretty good, man. Pretty wild. I don't know what this is. That is so bizarre. It really is, guys.
Going and checking things like it was a bug, but like way too big to be a bug. And then boom, it flies past the drone at a speed that I can't really describe.
I hate to say it. It looks like a Tic Tac, right? But I don't think this is 40 feet.
The slow motion, I think the only thing that I can tell from this, because the resolution now zoomed in so close, you can't really see what it is.
Yeah,
but
it is all a
big
big
almost
simulation.
Has like movement to it. But again, if it really was a bird, it wouldn't fly past the drone that fast. I've seen birds while I'm out there. I try to avoid them at all costs because I'm there for protecting the environment and conservation and stuff like that too. So what is this thing?
My throat hurts.
So I'm gonna do a few maybe still shots.
All right, we get you. All right. Enough already. I still like that video. Yeah, I think it's a good one. Once Upon a Time in UFOlogy. Once Upon a Time. No, I'm just kidding. Once Upon a Time in UFOlogy. Today's story comes to you by Rich Giordano, the host of GUFON, and the new channel Rich Saves America. Check out Rich Saves America every Sunday and Thursday right here on YouTube. And for any uploads and everything else, that's First Amendment. Or constitutionally Go ahead and check it out. Hold on a second. That's not good. Okay. Ready? Hold on. Hold on. Once upon a time in ufology. 1968, I was born. I was born at 3:10 a.m. on March 10th. I was the ugliest baby anybody's ever seen. True story. I had a black film that kept peeling for about a week and a half. And when my mother would show me to their friends, they would almost vomit. True story. But over time, this thing came out from underneath all of this black soot, as it was called. Now, mind you, my mother was a pretty big smoker. She says a pack a day. I say 2 packs a day. Because I know her as 2 to 3 pack a day. But anyway, she drank just like they all did in the 60s. And I was the third. So she knew what she was doing, right? The other 2 kids came out. Well, one's not with us anymore, and the other one had a bunch of health problems, and so did I. But we were all right, I guess. But pretty much healthy for the most part. Except for that peeling and taking off. And what was that? To this day, nobody knows. And that story is very famous about me because out of all my aunts and uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, out of all the babies they've had, nobody's ever heard of that. I'm an alien. I am. I was overcooked. Stayed in too long. Didn't want to come out. True story. The weird thing is my mother is texting me as I'm talking to you right now about the weather. She never texts me at night unless it's somebody's, So, the legend was born. The ugliest kid ever born with the most psychic sign possible. 3:10 in the morning, March 10th. Get it? 3:10, 3:10. Oh, birth certificate has it all on there. And if I may read this to you about Pisces, because I am a Pisces, and I know many of you are, you will appreciate this. Because a lot of people think, oh, what's the most psychic astrological sign, you say? Pisces. And what is the most psychic day to be born? I don't know, March 10th. The most likely sign, Pisces, are the most likely to have the best developed bonus sense. Water signs in general are generally more emotionally in tune and connected with people and the universe. Pisces are likely the most intuitive, with a nearly psychic perception of other people and their surroundings. Do not try to hide something from your Pisces friend. They are always one step ahead of you. I didn't write this. The stars wrote it. The universe wrote it. Now, the chosen one was born. 310, 310. But I didn't know who I was. I didn't know I had these abilities. I didn't know I could read minds, and no, I can't do any of that. Much. No, I can't. But you know what's really weird? Always had an interest in the paranormal. Loved it all. And I'm not sure if it's because I sat in front of the TV all day and night and just, I watched what my older sister watched, which was horror movies and stuff. So I kind of had, that kind of doorway and leeway to watch movies that were a little bit too, rated R. And all. My parents didn't care much. However, we did talk about very strange people in our family who aunts and uncles were supposed witches and did seances and got their mind taken over, possessed. So it was in my family. However, I think what happened is that the family split up. People stopped doing these ritualistic things that they grew up doing. People are older, things change. People get married, they have families, they move on, right? So while that's happening, I feel like, and I've always felt this, strange ability to feel the surroundings. That's it. That's it. I don't claim anything because I can't read minds. I've tried the psychic thing many, many times, and you know what? It's hit and miss. Typical, right? However, at 4 and 5 years old, I had the dreams of being shrunk down into a little me. And I'm telling you, man, it didn't feel good. It made me feel awful. Like I felt like I was being, I can't even explain. It just didn't feel good. You felt uncomfortable. Not like, oh, I'm scared. It made you feel physically sick, and not sick like you want to throw up or sick like the cold. It was uncomfortable. It felt like somebody was inside your body. And, it did. It felt like there was. So anyway, while you're having this feeling, I was being shrunk down to their size. And I remember seeing the dust bunnies next to me that were huge. Like, how does a 4-year-old have a dream? You know what I mean? That is so detailed in things that shouldn't have any detail. Like, I've never been next to a dust bunny to where I would see it in that way. You know what I mean? Like, why would I? And then when you looked at the dust bunny, you see hairs, you see fingernails. Like, what? Like I saw that shit in the dust bunny. And maybe it's because whatever was happening to me was, the mental capacity of that was being transferred over to me, maybe to make me less scared. They gave me knowledge of what it was that was around me, maybe. But what a weird experience that. And the dust bunny, the reason I talk about it, because it scared me so much that they put me back into my bed because I was freaking out about how big dust was at 4 years old. And then the next year, the whole city went out. We had the blackout, and people saw the red spheres in all the boroughs, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, and everywhere else. There were UFO sightings of red UFOs. All up and down the northeastern seaboard, even Canada and Niagara Falls area. And that was my first experience. Now, you would think that would be it. Pretty much it was. That was it. No sightings, nothing. 5 years later, we moved to Arizona at 10 and a half years old. Then I started having the dreams. Now, why do I start this off with once upon a time in ufology? Because once upon a time, I was just a normal person with no other thought. I have no memory of not having UFOs in my life, or the talk of it, or paranormal for that matter. It has been with me my entire life. I've always tried to make contact with the other side. There have been some incidences, but they never repeat. The Ouija board incident where I found out I was going to die, days before my 69th birthday in the year 2036. So things like that, they stay with you. However, no repeating anything. Nothing. Now, when we moved to Arizona, there is a story I never told anybody. And it is really, it's weird. Because it happened like in a couple of year period. See, where we lived on the corner. Matter of fact, I could even show you where I used to live. It's pretty easy. It'll give you a good idea of what I'm talking about. Plus, it's nice to have visuals. Plus, I never told the story. But there are things that happen in your life. And I don't know why. Why would I have dreams of this, of seeing a spaceship, a disc-shaped object, in the schoolyard across the street of where we used to live? Let me pull it up. Here we go. Oh, I didn't even bring you guys in. Sorry about that. So this is where we used to live, right here, I believe. Where's a coma? Where is a coma? This is it. If this is it, they changed everything. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. So this is the house that we moved into. Yep, that's it. There's the pool. My bedroom was on this side. Now, this was pretty much just all rocks when we were there, and this road was only one lane each way, which they widened it. But down here is where the baseball field should be, and it's no longer there. Oh, no, wait, here it is. Okay, so it's right here. Oh, wow, it's changed a little bit. Okay. Yeah, the baseball field used to be back here. Okay, so now it's here. Remind, it's 1980, so things have changed. So I would have a dream that I would go out the window right here where I used to live. You'll see. And then, right here, I would go out I think it was the middle window, right? And then these weren't there. None of these bushes were there when I was here. And across the street, it was foggy, and I jumped over the wall and went across the street to see this UFO. And I'm going to use the current pictures that are here now because it's different. I, at the time, had to walk way down here in the dream. And I had this dream 3 nights in a row. And each night it was the same, except each dream was extended just a little longer, just a little enough to where I could see it, see more butts. So let's exit. So I would go, walk across and go look at the UFO. So let's say it would have been right around second base and it was there. So I'd walk up to it and you can feel a vibration as you get closer to it. And the closer I would get to it, it almost made you lose your breath. And I don't know, some of you who are familiar with big bass and speakers in cars, that even at concerts, if you go to a concert, the bass literally can stop your heart. But yeah, it was a feeling like having bass going off in a car, but you couldn't hear it. Yeah, nothing. You thought you heard it, but you didn't. It was your heartbeat. I remember hearing my heartbeat and all the sound, everything, crickets, no matter what, the air, everything, it was air conditioners. Nothing was on. It was dead. It was extremely quiet. And I start to walk up to the spaceship. It was disc-shaped, right? It was a disc-shaped craft. It was exactly what you think it would look like. And a little panel opened up and it slid upward. And then it fell down. I can't even, like, it was a walkway. It just, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just appeared kind of like, you see the opening, it slides up, and then the part that opened up slid up and then came down in like a mist. But that's all I saw. And then next thing I knew, I would see the shadows of something coming through the, of course, the what do you call it? When they use the ice to make it all smoky. And then I'd wake up. So the next night, I had this dream and the same exact thing. I'm walking across the field. I feel the baseline and I get close and everything gets quiet. It's like I walk into a bubble. And I don't know how far. I'd have to say about 50 feet. It's like everything 50 feet in towards that I could see. But the weird thing is, and I don't even know why, but when I would look like this, I wouldn't see it out of the corner of my eye. But when I looked at it straight on, I could see it. And then I went like this, and I couldn't see it out of my peripheral. But when I turned and looked, I could see it. So it was some sort of field that, depending on how you looked, or maybe I was given that ability to see it, because, everything we see is a transmission. We're not just, it's transmissions going to our eyeball. Everything's upside down. It gets reorganized in our brain. Same thing. I think when I got close to it, I probably turned invisible to anybody who would have been a witness to it if there was anybody awake at 3 a.m. So I'm wondering if that's what was happening in the dream. So I get closer, and this time, though, I'm able to touch it. And something inside of me, it was like a woman's voice, like an electronic voice. It says, "Don't touch." That's what I heard. Don't touch. And as it's saying, "Don't touch," I actually touched it and got shocked. What I thought was a shock. And I looked at my hand, and there were like prick marks on my hand. Like something came out and went boop, like 3 little prick marks right there. To this day, I still have pain right here. Don't know why. Ever since that day. So the same thing happens. I turn. I don't see it. I look. I don't see it. And then the thing opens up. And now those beings that I couldn't see before because of the dry ice illusion, they walk through. And guess what they looked like? Me and you. They look just like us. Yep. And then I woke up. And then the next night, same everything, almost identically. But now in this dream, I actually remembered dreaming it. And I said, and this is the bad thing about this with me, because I can't keep dreams going. Like there are some people who can keep dreams going by thinking about it. Soon as I recognize I'm in a dream, it starts to dismantle. It starts to defrag and fall apart piece by piece. So in the dream, I'm having it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm having this again. And I wasn't even near the UFO at the time. And I'm like, okay, don't think about it. And then I'm like, okay, so don't think about it, but I'm thinking about it. I kept having this argument, and I'm walking closer, and everything's happening like it did before. And the beings step out. They both come out. One of them look. It's hard to explain. They looked just like you and me, but they didn't. They looked fake. Like they were not masked, but it's almost as if I was looking at something that wasn't even there. And I don't know. I never touched it, didn't get close, didn't see any glitching. But remember, this is 1980. I know nothing about holograms and shit like that as a kid at 11 years old. So all I know is that I've had these dreams. They were so real. Like I even inspected the window. I looked for my footprints. I went out to the the field, because we used to play baseball there every day. You know, I went out there and didn't see anything. Not like I was looking for trace evidence. I didn't know what I was looking for at all, but I was just going out there to see if I could see anything. I didn't tell anybody. No one. No one. Not my mom, not my dad, nobody. Why? It's weird. But that's ufology for you, right? Like you have these experiences, and who are you going to tell at 10 years old, 11 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old? Especially way back then. So after those experiences and very, very odd experiences in that house, it was just strange. It was a strange house. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We went through a lot as a family when we moved to Arizona because of my brother's death. So my mother always talked, he's always with us. He's watching us. So, I was always under that kind of thought process. Well, my brother's watching over us and these strange things and must be related. But I never saw him. I never had any dreams of him. Not one. Do you know that? That is really weird. I can't say never. I used to have, I think I've had maybe 1 or 2 dreams, but I never see his face. But I had dreams, but it's just weird. All right, so we moved to another house in Scottsdale. I'll show you this house because it's important to the story. Whoops. Okay. All right. So this is a very interesting place because right over here are the McDowell Mountains. Right here. And these mountains, I don't know, what are they? 2,000 feet high, 1,500 or so. There have been so many UFO sightings. Like this is Fountain Hills, where the tallest man-made fountain in the world is. Yeah, right here. But very active area in Scottsdale, in this area. And I had the wildest. Even my friends were experiencers. We all were living down here, close to this mountain. And all of this was empty. There was nothing here. All of this now, nothing. It was all desert. We were like one of the first houses here, believe it or not. And that was 1982. But some of the strangest things. I'll take you in the backyard and see if it's like it used to be. So my room was right in the front. My parents' room was in the back. My sister's was on the other side. And then in the middle was the living room back here, dining room up front, kitchen, whatever, bathroom, and back porch, pool. And used to be all grass. None of this stuff was there. The pool, grass. But anyway, let's blue line it. And it's facing exactly where I wanted it to. So these are the McDowell Mountains. And we used to have, you can still see a view here. Wow, they let this place go to shit. So I talked about this sighting before, not sighting a dream. My bedroom is right over here. And right about where I'm standing here is where I saw the UFO in the dream. And that's south, facing south, and this is west. And from the house, looking out this direction, it was raining. And I didn't see any marks on the ground from the rain. There was a circle, a dry circle, like right in the middle of the road. And remember, we were the only house here. So, it was weird. And I walked outside, and it looked just like the UFO I saw when I was, 3 years earlier in the schoolyard. Now, this is a dream. So in the dream, I walk out, I come out the front door, I walk all the way up to it, and I put my hand on it. Now, I didn't know it was there. I walk out with my hand like this, and my hand sank into it, kind of like a Tempur-Pedic pillow, but it was vibrating like it did in the other dream, and it went up my arm, and it made my arm fall asleep. It was really freaky. But then I'm sliding my left hand, and my left hand, you can't see the craft, by the way. It's invisible. It's cloaked. You just see the rain falling off of it like the Predator. And anyway, my hand slides in, it disappears, and I yank my hand back out, and I stick my head in, and there's an interior. And this interior was dimly lit with red lights, kind of like night vision red, you know what I mean? But it was track lighting. There was several feet on the floor, and it looked like it was about 7 or 8 feet I could walk to. And I hear a woman's voice, electronic woman's voice, tell me to sit down. I'm like thinking, where? Because I didn't see any seats. And you can see right through the ship to the ground. I'm walking on air, basically, it looked like. But I can see outside and everything. It was exactly like a video game. Exactly like putting on the Oculus. That's exactly what it was like. Except real. And the ship started to move as soon as I was completely inside. I didn't feel it. I didn't fall. And I saw the earth underneath me zipping so fast. And then we went up into the atmosphere, and I got sick. And I remember waking up right there where I get sick because we left, and it freaked me out. I mean, I guess seeing the earth turn into a small dot real quick will do something to your senses. And it did. And I had that dream several times in a row. I think these dreams, for some of us, are not only a part of our DNA, who we are. Seriously, I think we're possibly, because I can't think of any other reason. Maybe it's possible we're just we're seeing or experiencing another version of this life. And when we dream, our brains pick up on those waves and can't tell the difference between reality and dream world. So, or memory. You know, when you're dreaming, who the hell knows what the hell we're picking up? Why are we picking up these? Why can I fly? Why do I have super hearing? Have you ever had that in your dreams? Super hearing? I have. It's pretty cool. Super eyesight. You can fly. Fly. You just think about it and it happens. Watch. See? Stuff's. Is it real? I mean, what are we doing? Right? What are we doing in this life? So, experiencing this stuff till I was 14, it paved a way to when I hit 36, when I got into this field. I feel like everything that I experienced up to that point led me to have the ability to critically think, be realistic in the goals, for the truth, in whatever it is that I'm venturing out to not lose my reality, not get too caught up in my own biased opinion, to be open-minded, to explore strange new things and seek out other adventurous things that nobody would dare look into. To boldly go where a lot of people aim to go to but never make it. To be the one that can shine a light on a dark and desperate time. It is me, it is I, it is us that will bring this light and the truth to the world. Believe me or believe me not. This is just the beginning for GUFON. This is just the beginning for us. And if you don't believe me, just keep hanging around for the next 5 years. Was that good? Would you stay? Would you hang out now? Give me another 5. Come on, let me hear it. Hey, we're going to continue that Once Upon a Story some other day. But check it out. It brings us all the way to where we are today. I had a video camera. I recorded something. It turned into a 20-year rabbit hole with no answers. No answers. I'm going to die not knowing anything more than the first day I got here. That's it. You know what's changed? You know what's changed in ufology? Drones. That's it. Drones. That's it. What else has changed? There's nothing new. Balloons, birds, bugs, planes, satellites, Chinese lanterns, need I say more, hoaxes, charlatans, fakes, imagination, fantasy land. Where's the repeatable, provable, verifiable evidence? We all know UFOs are real. So who cares about evidence? I don't. We know. We know it's true. The only thing we need to know is who's flying these damn things. Who's controlling them? Maybe nobody's in them. But sometimes there are. We find pilots, remember? If we want to take what David Grush said to heart, we have the pilots. We have the goods. Now let's have the truth. What's the big deal? Look what just happened. President Trump was almost unalived, and the world was okay. That's pretty big matzo ball right there, right? You want to unify the world? Alien disclosure. At first, it would be so sad. So sad. because people will freak out. We'll have about, like everybody else was saying, other experts, about a week or two. It'll be a little chaotic, and then people will get tired, and then they'll understand it's not as bad as they thought. Their fears turn into curiosity, and their curiosity turns into a learning experience, and the next thing you know, hey, they're reading minds. They're off to, Proxima. What is the one place? Centauri, Proxima, or whatever the frig it is over there. Next thing you know, you're flying around space, and 48 hours earlier, you were so negative. Disclosure can happen, but should it? What's in it for us? That's all that matters. The one thing that's in it for us is to know we're not alone. To know we're not alone. How freaking beautiful would that be? That would be enough. That would be enough. And if everybody else would fall in line with just, hey, we've been doing okay. We have bumps and bruises. We do need help, but let us figure it out. That's how we learn. But you'll destroy yourselves. Well, let's hope we don't. But you will. It's in your destiny. How do you know? We've seen it already. In 54 years, all right, don't tell me. All right. How can we change it? You can't. You are destined to fail. Death is always your final conclusion. Well, that's pretty bleak there, alien guy. Don't you have any positivity? Well, there is one solution that could save humanity. Well, why? What is it? Tell me anything, alien of the future. Tell me, what can we do to save the Earth? Get rid of your technologies. But we can't. Then you've already failed. Good luck, soldier boy. Hey. And that's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're heading. And our technology will be our failure. Now, a lot of people take that as, we're going to build a big bomb and blow up mountains? No. Our technology could mean that we created a virus that wiped us out. It doesn't have to be a big explosion or something like that. It doesn't have to be kinetic. It could just be silent but deadly. And our technology would have created it just like it did to Coco. We all know. And it happened in China. Why do you call it that? Because it happened in China. Remember that? That was great. I don't think I've talked this much in a year. And I'm a little sorry for that. So, with that being said, dreams, real experiences, and everything paved a way for me to be here. And the weird thing is, it didn't start out, as a show where I went against debunker. I debunked shit. It wasn't anything like that. Me and Jeff did the first 10 shows under AZ Skywatchers, and we were just talking about, ufology. There wasn't any political talk. There wasn't any, beating up anybody. It was just... But then I realized the people that I'm trusting with this information are lying to me. And they're not telling us everything. And a current example of that, if we look at what happened last year with George Knapp, holding on to that alien story for 4 weeks because he wanted to release it the day before Grush went live on News Nation. So he can get more views and more people thinking, oh, it's real. The aliens are in this kid's backyard. And Grush came out in the congressional hearing the next day and said, pilots, So, And it worked. It would have worked anyway, but I didn't like that George did that. See, these are the things that bother me. Jaime Maussan, one of the worst hoaxers, makes Jeremy Corbell look like a schoolgirl. I don't know what that means. Puts Corbell to shame with all the hoaxes and bullshit he's gotten away with. Now, I don't know if those aliens are what, or those Moomy Doomies are what he says they are, because everything's been so convoluted and I just don't know who to believe. But if those are real and they're somehow mixed with an alien type of DNA, that's pretty significant. It's just that looks so stupid. Anyway, we're having a lot of chances to bring the truth out. And then we get Jaime doing his little magic routine here, trying to make everybody believe something that it really isn't what it is. Something's wrong with that story, and I think everybody agrees those Peruvian Moomy Doomies are not what they are. There's something wrong. I don't know. They were made in a lab. Yeah, they were made in China. And they were buried there. That's it. That's it. Well, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Seriously. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for the support. I know times are tough. So if you could help support GUFON, all the links are in the show description. Every little bit helps. And we will be back mañana. Actually, tonight on Rich Saves America, if I can stay awake. Yeah, what is at 11:20? Come on. At 11:20, it's not showing me. Nope. That's weird. What is going on? Hold on. Oh, here it is. Who are my top 5 First Amendment auditors? And we'll be analyzing 2 auditors. And that's at 11:20 tonight, if I make it. If not, I'll switch it. What's today? Tuesday. I'll switch it to Thursday. Anyway, but we'll be back here tomorrow. So thanks again for hanging out and supporting the show the way you guys. Hey, it's Truthology for UFOlogy. And guess what? We do it for you. We do. We do it all for you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. And I appreciate you hanging. Alien bless, will you?
There's a good thing. It's rotating.
What was in the skies over and why did it sound like those treasured sites in Christianity?
There's a debate in this something maybe proof for another universe. UFO, bright lights.